settings are... Oh, they can hear me. Okay, my mic settings weren't wrong. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to Sunday Shuffle. We're on number 8 now. And yeah, it's another week. Hi Zipit.
Hi Saya. Back for another commentary.
Yep. And we're seeing Airy versus Sandwich Master this time. Yeah, so we should be getting right into it as soon as I stop breaking my overlay and stuff. And oh no, this is a bit of a mess.
Well, that can't be good.
I'll tell them we're ready to go while I try to fix this.
Alright.
Ready to go might have been a bit of a lie, but we're good.
Ready-ish.
Ready enough. Well, right into it, and it's a Saffron versus Saffron, and in my vague memory, am I misremembering? But I think I have a vague memory of Sandwich Master not being a Saffron player. I could be completely wrong though.
I don't know. What is it? I faced them down in ranked, and they were Saffron when I remember in ranked. But
okay, well,
the Saffron duo is interesting for me to see. They're running a lot of the same spells, but their sorts of damage I think is a lot different. Airy having that spear wave while Sandwich just running more spells.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it goes. Right now the game's being kept pretty even, and I really like the Paragon, but right now Airy, of course, the spear wave, like you just mentioned, the spear wave is something that we've seen from a lot of Saffrons, especially in one of the tournaments where it kind of felt like every single game we watched had a spear wave user in it, and Airy is one of the more aggressive users of it right there, looking to try and combo the second weapon into it. But I mean, Sandwich Master is playing around it quite well and has built up a bit of a health lead.
I mean, the thing is, both players are running steps here. We saw the spear wave get stopped out by the rush actually, but with Saffron, W1's topping out so many steps and sort of being like a disruption to any sort of play, I'm really interested in seeing how adaptations come through.
Yeah, but right now, Airy in a lot of danger. Just 2 hits away right now. The Sparkler's being thrown out by Sandwich Master, trying to finish this off. Gets 1 hit, but gets counter hit, but the Paragon will actually be enough, and Sandwich Master takes first blood.
I mean, in my opinion, I think what'll be really interesting is the games afterwards. We're seeing that minigun into K-Wave into auto come through, and this sort of, I want to say, it's combo dependent, but it's not aggressive play. It's nuanced. Maybe I'm wrong there, but it's more of a when I get an opening, I'll claw through and deal as much damage as I can, as opposed to I'm going to force openings using all my spells.
Yeah, and right now, Airy with the aggression has a massive health lead there, but Sandwich Master not even... like this defense is continuing to come into play. Gets hit by a spear wave there, but dodged the earlier spear wave without too much difficulty and getting those 2-hit conversions quite well. But Airy is just converting off the K-Wave off of the Sparklers as well and takes the second game decisively. Maybe Airy's fully adapted and this might be a clean set back.
What is it? You've seen player Airy's getting this download here, working on getting used to this. As we can see, step into Spear Wave, that is beautiful. And I think, we're going to see more of this adaptation pull through. Airy just a dominant force right now.
Yep, looking very, very dominant here, but interruption coming out, almost getting that thunder on the return from the step from Airy, but not quite getting it, and that means Airy's getting so much damage off the minigun, off the K-Wave. And Sandwich Master's firing back, but it just feels like Airy's in control at the moment, but a few whiff spells might make the difference here as Sandwich Master tries to get something started with the Sparkler. And if any one of those connect, you know that Sandwich Master is able to combo with the shield pressure as well, and getting some extra credit after the Thunder here. Eri now in a tough spot. Spearwave getting counter hit, gets a little bit of damage back with the push slash, but the game's turned completely around after that counter hit.
Yeah, Sandwich just evening it up. A dodge on the mark, which is standard practice now, but that Spear Wave is really, really threatening. Oh no! Sandwich gets hit by the Spear Wave and evens it up though. I don't know how this is going to end.
Yeah, it's really, really close. 5 health to 4, slowly ticking regen up, and the auto slash and Paragon in play here, looking for the secondary into Spearwave, but Sandwich Master not getting caught, but it's still so close of a game, and the minigun from the max distance is enough for Eri, one of the more improbable ends to that game.
I mean, dying not to Spearwave, but to minigun is... I want to say it's going to happen if you're going to get hit by something, but I mean, it's still kind of crazy how you managed to dodge a Spear Wave directly after a Sparkler, but you know, sometimes it happens and you get caught out by a minigun or something else. Shield Break, hold on! Let's see how I'm going to convert this. No spells left in the deck to make any real dent, so it just goes for W1s, and we'll see how Eri responds to this.
It's a tough spot though for a Sandwich Master, because even that shield break didn't quite get too much because the cards were running out in the hand. Couldn't really get too much extra credit off of that, and that means it is Eri firmly in the lead. One more W1 and not even necessary. Eri gets in there 3-1, turns the set around, and well, just well played.
Yeah, it is well played. Actually, what is it? Sandwich getting those dodges almost pretty consistently when the rounds were starting to reach their end, but just because you're getting those dodges on those Spear Waves doesn't mean Eri's deck doesn't have everything else to do damage on, and it's just watching all of that is very, very difficult. So you know, Eri takes this first set in bracket. Set? I think it's a set.
Yeah. And moves on to fight Garden in the next round, but we're going to be looking at the winner of Hubsco versus Tenebrae versus the winner of Otaku Pirate and Rish, which is still up in the air, both of them 2-1 advantages towards Otaku Pirate and Hubsco respectively. But, you know, it isn't over till it's over, and we could definitely see that result changing. And I'm interested to see what happens, but Gladiolus Dragon is moving against Varia as well, two players that have had very strong recent performances, so that'll be an interesting one, as well as, yeah, a slightly smaller bracket this time, but Perp is looking for her second win here at the Sunday Shuffles.
I mean, yeah, what is it? Varia, I think many of them know them as Fireflies. Dominant player, dominant like new release player, you know, whole standing among like alphas. I mean, what is it? I think at this point in the game, alpha has just become like someone who's generally okay at the game now. But you know, one of the things that I'd like people to keep in mind is that with enough time, you can get as good as everybody else in the game. Facing an alpha player doesn't mean you're going to lose. That's my soapbox speech of the day, by the way.
Well, it looks like Hubsco is taking it over Tenebrae, and Otaku Pirate is taking it over Rish, which means we're going to have Hubsco versus Otaku Pirate here. A big matchup in this second round of winners coming right up. And any thoughts on that particular matchup? Because we've seen both these players many, many times, right?
Yeah, and you know, with my experience in them, it'll be a very interesting sort of play here. Otaku Pirate loves locking you out, but with Hubsco's defense and being wiggly and that easy access to box clearing with Saffron W1 and Saffron W2, it'll be an interesting match.
Yep, we'll have to see as the players will be getting into the lobby shortly. And Yeah, I'm just interested to see how this bracket goes. I think it's a pretty competitive bracket this time. Usually there's like a huge gap between even the middle seeds and the bottom seeds, but the bottom seed in this bracket is Tenebrae. That's crazy. Isn't that just absolutely wild?
Yeah. Tenebrae has wiped the floor with me a bunch of times in ranked, and I've been seeing this bracket. I would be afraid to step into this in the first place. All of these are, powerhouses in their own right.
Well, it's Hubscoa versus Taku Pirate coming up, and yeah, also, the 8th V set at the very top is going the distance. Oh my. It is 2-2 at the moment.
Yeah, V holding her own against 8th. I'm interested to see how that one plays out, but we've got a match in front of us right now. Well, not quite, almost.
Half of a match.
Yes. Just waiting for your Taka to get here.
We'll have to see what happens, as Hubscoa has been experimenting with this deck quite a bit, and it's still the Vivisection variant with a very, very incomprehensible name. Can you try saying it?
I already Kuradine. That was fine. It's a name, alright. I don't want to look at it too hard. This will be interesting. Osaka Pirate sort of like throwing structures while.
Yeah, Osaka Pirate's throwing structures while Hubscoa is being pretty defensive, and it looks like 8th has won against V and earned themselves a trip in a match against Perp, but that's for later. Right now is Hubscoa versus Otaku Pirate in the winners round 2, and these are just pretty signature decks from both players. I think we've seen pretty similar flavors of these decks before, but actually I don't think we've seen Perforate from Otaku Pirate in the past.
Well, I don't know if it chains off W1, the bonk. It'd be hilarious if it did. I'm pretty sure that's the case, otherwise I'm not sure why Otaku would run it. But we're seeing this sort of, this box clear come out from Hubscoa. It's not perfect, but we're starting to see sort of that gameplay form. And Hubscoa just getting a bit of poking.
Oh, and that's what you were mentioning. The wrench into Perforate looking kind of nice for Otaku Pirate, and actually nullifying the Spear Wave as well with the SD turret. I think Otaku Pirate is ready as Hubscoa self-vivisections, but a good kinetic wave of backstab means Hubscoa is getting some solid, consistent damage here, and Otaku Pirate is getting outpaced at the moment as the boxes just get cleared away. Hubscoa with a massive lead. But wait a second, the lead is disappearing. What? The inverter on the SD turret! And wow, suddenly that lead vanished, but as soon as the lead vanished, Hubscoa converted to win the game. Gets to confirm into the Spear Wave to finish it off.
Yeah, this is interesting. What is it? The SD turret to block the multi-hits. And Hubscoa holding a lot of space and clearing boxes that the second coming out and not hitting anything. But we can see players here just they know their decks inside and out, and sort of that I want to say experimentation that's happening. I haven't seen the Perforate variant from Otaku here, and it turns out that it works pretty well.
Yeah, getting a little bit of damage, but it is still Hubscoa who is in command of the damage lead at the moment. And wow, a 31 damage combo, even getting the mark at the end. Otaku Pirate barely missing. 3 health after the Vivisection, 1 health remaining against Saffron of all characters. And Saffron will not miss those. Hubscoa 2-0 up.
Yeah, that was That was brutal. That was a brutal combo. I mean, once you're stuck in that, what are you gonna do? And then being at like 1 or 2 HP is the worst place you can be against a Saffron because all their weapons will hit you just like that. Shielding away one of the shots from the SE turret after moving. The flame breath. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But flame breath, fire breath. Spaced either all the way in front, as we've been seeing, or cast from the third row, so it covers the entire opponent's front, which is interesting.
Yeah, Hubsco is using that card quite well, and it's making it hard for Otaku Pirate to really play this mid range.
Yeah, Otaku can't stand up front because they caught out, but if you stand back, you're not using Hazel to its full potential.
Oh, and unfortunately doesn't land a perforate there, and that means Hubsco is sitting pretty comfortably with a full hand at the moment, and Werner getting a little bit of damage as well. A late push slash still connects, and Otaku Pirate is low, but another self-vivisection does interrupt the momentum from Hubsco for a moment. A parry on the kinetic wave and a sidestep, but the spear wave is in hand all the way from nearly the back column. It's not connecting, but 15 health is not a lot to work with, 4 health remaining, and the vivisection to finish it off. Hubsco with a commanding 3-0.
Yeah, that was brutal. Otaku putting up a good fight, but I mean, with Hubsco moving around so much, those sort of skill shots, those pulls into like W1s into perforates, they're that much harder to hit.
Yep, and this bracket's pretty quick, so we're actually, as soon as we get one top 8 match ready, we're going to head right into top 8. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, top 8 is gonna scare me a little bit with all these names up here.
There's definitely a lot of solid players this time, and it feels like most... It doesn't feel like any game in this tournament will be a wash. It feels like it's always winnable. And that's exactly what we might see here, because there's a bunch of 3-1s, there's some 2-3s, and we're bound to see some more as the tournament progresses. I think the most interesting match, though, is 8th's losers match. If they lose against Perp, which will probably happen, they're against Pereira for who gets to move on to top 8 and who gets 9th, and I think that's definitely a match that we should stream, honestly, even if it delays top 8 by one match.
And I mean, what is it? 8th has been struggling to get into top 8, and it'll be heartbreaking for them to get stopped out again just before top 8. But you know, it'll also be this sort of heroic triumph where he makes it to top 8 and, you know, proves that they are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's like no matter how hard the bracket, 8th will get 9th, and no matter how easy the bracket, 8th will get 9th. So it's both an impressive thing. It's also impressive as well, because there are some much harder Sunday shuffles where it was absolutely stacked and 8th got 9th over very stiff competition. And then you turn around and sometimes the 9th is just disappointing, but we'll have to see, because that set's still going on. I'm not even sure if we'll catch it. Oh, I really want to catch it. I'm delaying top 8 to catch that one.
It's alright. That's fair enough. I do want to see this one as well. Yeah.
But we'll have to see Perp versus 8th. Oh, okay, it was a 3-0. Okay, we can catch it without delaying. No. We can catch it without delaying.
Alright.
8th versus Pereira. This is a historic matchup. This is for the legacy of 9th place. In the losers top 12.
I mean, 8th is gonna fight for it.
This is it. This is the 9th place decider. Loser of this gets 9th. Winner of this escapes 9th place, and this is a historic matchup. That's all I'm gonna say.
I would say it's a historic matchup for A. But oh, where's my bracket? There's my bracket. It's not really mine. It's yours. Here we go.
Yeah, 8th.
Pereira versus 8th.
8th on the Celicy, and Pereira on the Shopkeeper. We'll have to see how these two clash, as this matchup has been quite interesting to watch as time has progressed after all. We've seen quite a few different playstyles coming from the Celicy and Shopkeeper players, and Pereira is no different. This is no big damage Shopkeeper. This is a more combo oriented Shopkeeper we're seeing, with a lot of disruption and a lot of forced evasions and a good counter to start it off.
Oh, I mean, classic. 8th goes for that eruption. It's kind of like a staple of their deck. The parry from Pereira, but Hyper Beam still goes through. Dodging the Quad Claws. Lots of 2 Frostfires up for 8th. Not finding it. The double parry!
Wow. Pereira somehow gets out of that tough situation and now almost has a health lead. But I think if 2 cards are staples for 8th, they're breaking the back row and the Hyper Beam, right? Those are the 2 things that you think of when you think of 8th's deck, and they kind of warp how the game is played. So it'll be very interesting. But a push slash, and right now Pereira is just controlling so much of the space and interrupting 8th at so many opportunities.
That dodge step on the return, and the frost cards coming out. 8th just needs to find a way in, I would say. Not quite finding what he wants to. The eruption not hitting, and not dodging that vortex. We'll have to see where 8th takes us.
Ooh, that's tough though. Gets caught by the warp rays, and Pereira will draw first blood here. That's tough, and Pereira just feels prepared for this matchup, right? Just interrupting 8th at every turn, and 8th isn't able to get a lot of the big damage that they're looking for. Especially the Hyper Beam. I think it only landed once that entire game, and that's usually what 8th uses as that like big damage just punish.
Ooh. One of the things that I want to mention here is those tax returns. 8th can't step through those unless they spend the mana on a dodge, and it's just the threat of a tax return makes stepping that much harder for them.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of damage with the Frost Slash, but Pereira is playing this combo game very well. The Quad Claws, we saw it used notably by Icarus Diver, but Pereira's using it quite solidly as well as Disruption, and that's, wow, okay, 8th just took damage there and trying to build the Frost Axe, but right now Pereira has so much control, so much time to work with as well. Will the Frost Slash come through? 8th going for it. Not quite enough mana after that step, but again, this front row blocks so well. Pereira is using these tax returns to great effect here, and the Quad Claws to discard. 8th doesn't get to use the Frost Slash at all.
The Gravitas gets away from the Gravitas Bomb, but not having a lot more tools for this. The Eruption pressuring the front row, but 8th not making use of. Wait, never mind. 8th takes the Eruption and does the damage, trying to find a finisher here. Pereira at 11 HP, and will we see it blocked by the shield? I don't know where this is going to go now.
Interrupted at the last moment. Had the Frost Slash for the kill, but got interrupted by the Warp Rays. But Pereira needs to be so careful. The poison's ticking down. 1 health remaining, and 8th will not miss the finish on this game. But wow, really well played by Pereira to not get finished off a little earlier there. And now 8th needs to, I guess, create a lead, because that game was way closer than it should have been. But the way 8th won that game, And the way 8th had the lead in most of that game, definitely a good sign for the games coming up, especially if this Hyper Beam lands. But Pereira is just not getting caught, not preemptively moving at all.
I mean, one of the things that I want to mention is, what is it? It seems to be playing sort of the hyper booming. I keep thinking about it. It seems like you're hoping for a hit as opposed to, you know, forcing them into a hit. That's always what I think of when I think of hyper booming. Is that sort of like hope that you hit them. And with such an expensive card, you can't really afford to do that. But I mean, 8th is making it work. That snow cone coming out, that rush. I mean, what else are we gonna see?
Yeah, we'll have to see what 8th does. And once again, Pereira being punished for sitting in that front column, and that is, I think, what 8th does best, right? But the thing is, Pereira is playing shopkeeper, doesn't need to sit in that front column, and I think if Pereira just stays in the middle columns and doesn't push up like that, wait a second, 8th has plenty of cards that cover all of that space too, though, and Pereira is being punished for just sitting too comfortably there anywhere, and I think 8th played this game quite well, but there's a bomb looking scary, but this time the Frost Slash won't be countered, and 8th moving up 2-1.
8th is fighting for it. 8th, I think he tastes that victory and the top 8, and really, really wants it this time around. We're gonna see if 8th makes any conversion. Snow Cone into Hyper Beam.
Yeah, Snow Cone into Hyper Beam is what 8th gets, and gets a bit of a lead here, but that bomb's looking very, very scary. The eruption comes out, but that means even less space for 8th to dodge away from that. And now Pereira with an opportunity, but the Warp Ray is kind of like the Hyper Beam, but a little bit different. But this time the Vortex into Quad Claws. Pereira evening up the game and disrupting 8th's shuffle as well. A shuffle coming out from 8th, looking for a little bit of zone control, but I think Pereira stabilized, but the raw Hyper Beam, when they needed it most, it was there, and now Pereira's in a bit of trouble with this bomb.
And that is brutal. I mean, 8th is just finding those hits when they need them. And Blink comes out. I mean, what is it? I want to say the Quad Claws is very, very strong for Pereira here, though, because a lot of hits and then damage deal. Hold on.
Yeah, 3 health remaining on Pereira.
8th, yeah, 8th really has a chance here. 1 Frost Stack. Can't find any good hits. That bomb is just too annoying to be there.
Oh, and the rush is what finished it off. Pereira goes for a bit of a greedy punish on the overextension from 8th, which gives 8th a gap, and 8th breaks the curse. Top 8 achieved.
8th journeys to a well-earned top 8. Let's see what happens next.
Well, what happens next is we're heading immediately into top 8. Perp versus Hupskoa. Brackets being started right now. Get in here. Well, Zipit, that was a good game, and we're heading into top 8. Perp versus Hupskoa. These are 2 players that have been very, very active in Duo Saviden tournaments, so it's no surprise that we're seeing them once again in this winner's side. Perp looking to repeat, and Hupskoa also trying to find a victory here. Has gotten very close on numerous occasions, but never all the way to the finish line. And well, wow. A bit of a crazy chat interaction. Hupskoa says OMG is that perp, and then not a fan. That's wild.
Perpiel isn't a fan of themselves either. Starting out with an interesting lineup here.
Are you sure it's their lineup and not your deck?
This is, yeah, it is an interesting lineup. Wait, these decks look pretty similar. I mean, besides Hosko's, um, you know, trademark Spear Wave, Perviel is running a Saffron deck.
Oh, but Hubsco gets the best value in the entirety of Duelist of Eden. 3 hits of that Vivisection goes for the Sparklers into Spear Wave, but not quite getting the combo there, and getting a little bit of a lead, but leads are fleeting, especially when Perp is catching that Spear with the minigun and getting it a lot closer. Hubsco getting caught by one shot of Vivisection as well, so the damage really adding up here as Perp is expertly just hitting her mark.
Yeah, I think Perf is a lot more proficient at finding those opening sets than I think a lot of the other bracket contenders. No offense, hopefully, but I mean, when Perfiel is this strong and has played, a lot of different things, I think she's been opening her, her decks and skills to more characters. Still, actually, even if it scores out a bit, I think with one clean Spear Wave, this will be almost even. And Hubsco is just looking for the confirm.
Went a little bit too far with that one, though. The Spear Wave spawned behind Perp, and now Hubsco's in a bit of trouble. 2 health remaining, a Sparkler to finish. Perp with a clean first game.
Yeah. Hubsco holding their own, actually, but, against Perv, I don't think holding your own is quite enough to win. Holding in the back to prevent Flame Breath, and then sort of staying away more than 4 tiles or less than 4 tiles to just get away from that step into push.
Yeah, and Perp actually reading Hubsco perfectly off of that step out of the Paragon, and also parrying the inverter while getting teleported. Perp is looking very experienced against the cards in Hubsco's deck, and not very surprised at all, right? Hubsco is using a lot of the staple cards, so Perp has seen them plenty of times, not getting caught by excess Spear Wave damage, and this game is looking very dominant in the favor of Perp. 2 inverter shots as well, extra credit as Hubsco is dropped down to 21 health, 18 health. The world doesn't connect, but the Thunder does. 7 health, 5 health. Perp's damage is not stopping as 3 health is all that remains for Hubsco. 4, but that is not enough to survive as Perp takes the second game as well.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I want the ideal Saffron play, I would say, is very much sort of chip away at the opponent's HP and dodge and weave your way through. I mean, Perp actually noticing when Hubsco doesn't have enough spears for like a full Spear Wave, because a full Spear Wave will shield break. But Perp noticing that and not getting shield broken by the Spear Wave because it's only 2 spears instead of 3.
Yep, and Hubsco this time on the Harissa. Bit of a desperation pick here, but has looked good on it in the past, but getting caught by a lot of damage from the Vivisection, and Perp's keeping it close here. The Northwind comes out, shielded away by Hubsco, and Hubsco's landing a lot of these straight line spells very, very well, but the question is, will Hubsco be able to keep up with Perp, because she's the one dealing the majority of the damage in this set so far, but not going to copy inverter, and Hubsco combos actually into the Spear Wave, but the World Drag, the Paragon doesn't quite connect though, and this game is so even.
Yeah. One thing that I've been noticing is with like inverter, Perp likes to sit at the top or bottom, and it's that sort of like play that you get used to, is because inverter will deal max damage if you're sitting in the middle 2 lanes, but it doesn't if you're sitting at the top and bottom. Dodging the Northwind, and Hubsco is trying to get a conversion off of it, gets the inverter and follows up with a Spear Wave. I mean, this game is pretty much even.
Yeah, Hubsco is converting quite well, especially up the Harissa weapons as well, and getting out of the Paragon. not feeling pressured at all, not stepping into the vivisection with a pretty solid lead here, but it vanishes in a second. Perp instantly gets some damage back, but 7 health remaining on Perp. This Spear Wave is looking very scary. Hubsco looking for the fake out, but Perp will not be caught, but Perp not enough defense to live against that one. Hubsco with a great opening, and now Hubscoa is staring down the Perp shopkeeper. Oh no.
I would be afraid to fight that one as well. It's Perp. It's what Perp is known for. It's that gravitas into Ragnarok, gravitas into guillotine, screw up your entire day deck.
Yeah, this is the no fun allowed mode, and this is why Hubscoa said pregame in the chat, not a fan, smiley face, and the mine comes through, and not quite getting the prediction though is Perp. Kind of tried to read the Hubscoa step down, it looked like, and maybe Hubscoa will be successful here, because with the Harissa elusiveness, that might make the difference, but maybe not, as Perp can just set up around teleport, like right there, using that minigun for some extra damage, and Hubsco actually being pushed into almost a corner, but gets out of there somehow, just blinks back and forth, doesn't get caught by the gravitas into the mine.
Where is it? Hubsco has nerves of steel. I mean, what is it? Sitting in a corner, and it's very, very easy for you to feel like you're trapped. But Hubsco is just playing so patient. Teleports away from the Align, so Ragnarok hits the bomb instead. Perp dodges the Spear Wave with a fadeaway, but both players just fighting for it. Standing in front of the mine so that Hubsco can't get the auto slash. Gets a minigun extension from, I didn't see that exactly, but both players seem to be even here, even with, okay, never mind.
Yep, one opening is all it takes. Kinetic Wave into Ragnarok comes through, and now Perp with a commanding lead just needs one card, and the bomb explosion with the Align. Hubscoa wasn't ready. Perp takes it 3-1.
I mean, what is it? I think in better circumstances with a little bit more luck, Hubscoa would absolutely have taken another game off Perp with that shopkeeper. That just nerves of steel, being able to evade all of those trickier moments that I think many other players would collapse and step into. It's just Hubscoa is really very, very, very patient in ways I haven't seen.
Yep. Yeah, Hubscoa's defense, not something to be scoffed at. It is incredible, and it was displayed again here. But in the end, Perp landed the combos that she needed and made it happen. But we're moving on to the next winner semi. It is Garden versus Gladiolus Dragon, and Glad has been pretty consistent over the past few Sunday shuffles, placing in the top 8 generally. It was on somewhere around there, so somewhere around in the top 8, and that's definitely a good sign, especially with the last few Sunday shuffles having such a high level of competition. But Glad is against Garden, and that might be a bit tough, because even though Glad, they're a good player, Garden is the Celicy to watch out for.
Yeah. Garden is perfectly willing to wait for an opportunity and then dash onto your side of the field. Oops, there goes a quarter of your HP bar.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see Glad versus Garden starting as soon as Garden gets the final Gardens in the lobby. That took a million years. But always fun to see Glad. I think their deck is really fun to watch. Of course, piloting the Chiretta. And Garden, well, we'll have to see. Because I think Garden is gonna be pretty serious in this tournament. Coming off a bit of a disappointing performance last week. Like, it was still a solid result, right? But for a player like Garden, you would probably expect more. So, not playing any games this time. I think Garden's looking to take the win.
It's going to be a fight. Shadow Shift.
Ooh, that's a fun card, and that's why Glad is so fun to watch, right? Always pulling out these interesting decks, and currently at a little bit of a lead, but Garden erases that in an instant, but Glad strikes right back, and we'll have to see where the combos come from, because Glad also has the step lance, and we could see some big damage combos coming out from this Chiretta, but not in the way that we usually see. This deck is so unorthodox. What an inverter on their own side of the field.
I just want to see how Glad puts these sorts of combos together. Oh no, a shield break!
Oh, but
Garden taking a little bit of advantage of that, but not having the cards needed to actually capitalize on it.
yeah, that's actually a pretty solid situation for Glad, right? It could have been much worse in a different spot, but with that hand dwindling for Garden, it didn't really come into play, and now Garden swinging, but it is Glad who feels like they're in control for a little bit here, has a full hand to Garden's dwindling one, and has an 11 health lead, but the shears come out, and it's a bit of a struggle as Glad goes for the whirl, but that's not the comboing part of the hue, so not quite getting it there. Oh, actually the anchor cancel on the triple barrel gets a little bit of damage, but watch out, there's the Garden combo, and Glad suddenly at 4 HP against 15. Needs to find an explosive opening, but doesn't have enough mana for the whirl.
Both players are just, it is even, and Garden just pushes in, gets the dash, gets the shears, and it's a Garden combo. What else can you say?
Yeah, and oh, that's such a tough loss too, because Glad had the opening, just didn't have the mana in that moment. Could have comboed into whirl if there was just a little more mana there, so tough loss, but it was definitely a close game, and we're going to see Glad strike right back here. But right now, Garden starting off on the right foot, has plenty of cards in hands to combo with, and the Vivisection not doing Glad any favors, but a shield break comes out, but no cards!
Oh no, shield break, no cards though!
Oh, that's so tough.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, that would have been such a good opening for Glad, but it wasn't.
Yeah, Glad just trying to find any sort of movement. And another Garden combo, 26 damage. Remember, quarter of your HP just disappears if you're caught mispositioned and Garden wants to take advantage.
Oh, big conversion from Gladdy though, actually figuring something out here, but Garden is doing too much consistent damage right now. Gladdy's finding the openings, but Garden just needs 1.5 more openings to kill, it feels like, at 27 health on Gladdy's side. We'll have to see what happens here as the Vivisection comes out again, but Garden is no stranger to that card. Might be #1 Vivisection fan in the entire world after all. Triple barrel comes out, but it's at point blank, so it doesn't combo, not even close, and 17 health separates the two players. It's going to take a big combo from Gladdy to bring this one all the way back, but the inverter comes out and the game's looking even. But, oh, Gladdy with a self-Vivisection, that's not good, the shield break, and this time Garden has the cards.
No. Yeah, and especially at that HP point, you can't get shield broken when you're that low, and, you know, I don't think it would have mattered if Garden didn't have cards. You might end up with like 1 to like 5 HP, and Garden can just get a stray hit with Crossfire or dash into Breakout, and that's just so much coverage when you're that low. But we're seeing in the next game here, Gladdy doing a fair bit of damage and has a good like 15 HP lead. Not for long though. You need to stop peeking.
Garden sets up the combo, gets the sweet spot as well, getting a lot of damage back, and Gladdy trying to push Garden away. The game's even, but once again a little bit more damage for Garden, playing very on point today, looking to make this a 3-0 sweep for the Celici, and has the cards in hand for some more big damage as well. Going in for a shear up next, it feels like the auto slash there for combo fodder as well, but not quite landing and getting interrupted. Gladdy's playing this neutral quite well, but Garden still finds the opening, still finds the damage, still finds a lead here, and has a great hand for doing some damage. But a good counter hit, 2 hits with the triple barrel. Gladdy might have what it takes here, but it's still so tough, dodging away the mark. 20 health on both sides, but we've seen Garden melt these health bars before, but Garden's the one sitting at town health right now. Gladdy with a good shuffle to try and keep up the momentum, and this hand could mean everything. Can Gladdy land it? 7 health remaining. The triple barrel, the inverter, and Gladdy will take the game.
Gladdy takes a round against Garden. I mean, what is it? It's just Garden just keeps getting counter hit after, like, I mean, Garden's getting countered after like a lot of W1s and spells. And I mean, if you if you keep getting countered, if your spells aren't coming out, what are you gonna do?
Yep, and this time, Glady though gets hit by what you called a garden combo. 24 health gone in an instant. And Garden with another hand ready to do the same thing again as Glady's health is dwindling this game, looking a little bit dangerous here. Trying to find an opening, gets the inverter as well. This inverter putting in so much work for Glady in this set, but it's going to have to do a little bit more work as the whirl hasn't quite landed. I don't think I've seen it land the entire set. Glady just hasn't been able to get those whirl setups because Garden's so evasive.
Yeah. And you know, with Garden doing just that much damage, it's so hard to find an opening. So Glady at 1 HP, getting the inverter on their side. No, but oh no, that step return, the return just cut short, quite literally by Garden.
Yeah, Garden with the patient play at the end there, and yeah, that is Garden securing that set. I will say though, excellent play by Glady. Like we saw the power of the unorthodox deck. We just saw everything kind of work out, and it was just well piloted.
Yeah, and I mean, what is it? Taking that set from Garden, I think, shows that this deck could have a little merit. I think it's also just the sheer amount of counter hits that Glady gets from those W1 when Garden tries to W1 or cast a spell. I think that might have a little bit to do with it.
Yeah, Glady playing around those counter hits quite well, right? Just moving up and down, firing those projectiles that make it hard for Garden to find a way in. So just very well played nonetheless. And now we're heading into the loser side of top 8. 8th versus Sandwich Master is happening right now, and I'm just waiting for them to get into the lobby and get set up because this is going to be an interesting one. Have these two played before? I'm not quite sure, but I feel like they might have.
I haven't seen these two play each other. I haven't seen it. Maybe it's happened. If it does, please do show me. But I'll be interested to see how this plays out.
Yep, and we're heading right into the set. Sandwich Master versus 8th here. And this is interesting because Sandwich Master has been playing pretty disruptively in this tournament, and 8th is kind of fishing. Like this entire deck is just zoning and fishing. And if 8th's the one getting counter hit, then that's a bad sign. If 8th is the one counter hitting, 8th will probably win.
Yeah, and if I might be a little bit controversial here, but what is it? Oh no! 8th getting counter hit 3 times in a row. Can't find an opening here, just getting like shut out at every moment.
Yeah, really good defense coming out from Sandwich Master, not letting 8th find any setups. And 8th really wants this auto slash into rush, does get it actually, and Sandwich Master might be fishing a little too hard for the counter hits, isn't actually getting much damage of their own, even though 8th's offense is being slowed down. Sandwich Master's offense is nowhere to be seen, a 17 health lead despite a lot of hits from Sandwich Master. And 8th in a good position to win it, but getting interrupted yet again, getting counter hit, and we're seeing the dangers of what happens when 8th is the one getting countered. But the Hyper Beam on deck, 8th really wants this Hyper Beam. Going for it, there it is.
That's it! The Hyper Beam to kill, that's beautiful. 8th just waiting for a moment and then finds it and tears it apart.
Yeah, and as Ari points out, that there are a lot of people whose names start with AE, right? There's 8th, there's Ari, but if you think about it, there's also Tenebrae, which ends in AE. There's a lot of AEers. Yeah.
There are quite a few. Sandwich just looking for an opening here. That combo, not to be kind of slowing down 8th here. But I mean, I think 8th is perfectly content to wait a little bit. I think Sandwich is going a little too hard on that W1 defense, trying to get those counter hits going. and not quite getting enough damage of their own. I mean, right now, the the Rush actually stopping out the eruption, and A's just not finding an opening after that.
Yeah, well played from Sandwich Master to completely shut down 8th, and that's kind of what I think they were aiming for in that first game, right? They weren't able to do it. 8th did plenty of damage, but this game, I think, wow, some big damage coming out from Sandwich Master. Finds the conversions, finds the backstab and the thunder, and he gets a counter hit, a crucial counter hit there as well. Now 8th is looking a little bit... It's looking dangerous for 8th right now as their health is dwindling. 46-44, the rush to extend the combo. And Sandwich Master sitting comfortably at 85.
Yeah, 8th on the ropes here. Gets one hit off the Hyper Beam, but not quite getting up much else. The Frost Slash coming through, and 8th is just trying to claw out an opening. I think it'll be tough for 8th to climb back, but nothing's impossible.
Yeah, we'll have to see. 8th trying to find these frost stacks, but the frost proc means no more frost stacks to play with. 1 health remaining against the Saffron of all characters, and goes for a very unsafe card. Unfortunately, gets punished immediately. Well played by Sandwich Master. It's 2-1 at the moment, and we're seeing a deck swap.
I mean, what is it? 8th has to find something that works here, because if not, and you stop out on this one, you're out of bracket. We'll see what changes. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, I think there is one minor change. Is Eruption with Crystal Rifle. I think that is the change.
That is definitely a very, very minor change, but this is indeed their second deck. They did submit 2 decks with a 1 card difference, and I mean, that does make the 2 decks play quite differently. The Crystal Rifle ramp now coming into play, and of course, I don't think the Eruption is really that useful in this particular matchup, because Sandwich Master isn't really doing anything with that.
And I think when you're getting, all these Frost procs, because you have 4 Frost cards actually, one of which is Frost Slash, which almost guarantees a Frost proc if you're playing with any other Frost card. And then it's Snow Cone. You got Snow Cone. I mean, I would take advantage of all that Frost with a Crystal Rifle. Gets the Crystal Rifle, 20 damage combo. I want to see what happens next.
Yeah, but 8th was a little hasty with the Frost Slash, and that's a lot of potential damage that's off the table now. And a big hand without that big payoff here. Does have the Crystal Rifle at the back of it, but it's still going to be a little tough. Getting countered over and over. 8th needs to find something here. Does have the 8 damage, but it's an 8 damage. And it doesn't even connect, and the Crystal Rifle win condition might be coming into play, but I'm not even sure if that's the card that makes the difference here. I think 8th is just playing much more actively. Both players going for a lot of damage, and 1 health remaining on Sandwich Master. Tough spot to be in, but 8th is the one taking damage. 4 health remaining. Sandwich Master needs to find 1 opening, but 2 health. Oh, but shields away. No, barely surviving.
Shield just barely. And, 8th is just trying to find... doesn't quite get it.
What a clutch shield. What a clutch return by Sandwich Master to close out this set. 8th was so close, but pulled the trigger too fast at too many opportunities, and Sandwich Master will stably clutch out the win and move on to top 6.
Yeah. 8th almost had that. Almost had that. I think a little bit more patience on 8th's side. And that sort of, it is a push towards like a garden play style. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's that sort of patience until you find the opening, and then oops, 24 damage.
Yep, but our next matchup is Airy versus Varia. Is it Varia or Varia?
I don't know. I say Varia. I say Fireflies.
Yeah, that's real. People do say Fireflies.
Airy up here. I want to see how this plays out. I actually haven't seen Varia. Maybe I have, but I haven't seen. I haven't really got time to like analyze their playstyle in ranked, other than, oh god, I'm getting absolutely beat up.
Yeah, and this is actually a rematch from the exact same round from Losers Top 8 in Sunday Shuffle number 6, 2 Sunday Shuffles ago. And Varia took it 3-2 in that one, but earlier on in that exact tournament, Airy took it over Varia 3-1, so it'll be an interesting one to see this matchup, because both players have shown that they can win against each other.
I'm interested to see how this plays out. I think both players run circles around me in ranked, and as you know, as both players have taken games from each other in past Sunday shuffles, we'll have to wait and see what this one shows us.
Yep, and Airy also has run into 3 Celsius in a row, so is more than warmed up. Or not 3 Celsius in a row, but 3 Celsius in the tournament so far. So it's more than warmed up for this matchup here. We'll have to see how it goes, as Airy, we know her already. A very explosive Saffron player, and we're seeing it right now just on the offense. But Varia looks very equipped to deal with it, and has the Step Lance combo, has the whirl, has the big damage, and suddenly Airy's at 63.
Oh geez, this is gonna be tough. Not quite getting the full frost proc, but I think that what is it? Having 2 frost stacks is more dangerous than having what is it? Having 2 frost stacks when facing snow cone is more dangerous than no stacks.
And it's still Airy in a dangerous position, while Varia has a lot of tools. The Step Lance doesn't connect, and Airy stays alive for now, but 13 health, but a shield break, and a decent number of cards
coming
available.
Through here.
Oh, but it's not quite enough to get enough damage, and 2 health remaining comboed. Varia will take the first game pretty comfortably.
But I mean, what is it? Yeah, Varia having a pretty strong opening game here. Airy getting a bit of a combo going, but you know, the thing I'm interested in is Airy here. I think both players are really good at shields. What is it? During that first game, Airy shields almost perfectly, having 1 shield HP left. And I want to see how Airy plays with the defense when Celicy is almost always on their side of the field.
Yep, and now Varia low, but getting a big combo, and suddenly the game is very close to even, but Airy on the other side with the return trying to get the push-pull, but not quite landing both parts of it, as Varia now with an opening, the game sitting at 36-35, incredibly even, as Airy goes in with the kinetic wave as well, but not a lot of damage as Varia brings it right back. 3 health remaining, a lot of spears on hand for both players. The spear wave going to be attempted here and does catch Varia on the return. So the game stays very, very, very close to even.
One of the things...
Wow.
Oh no! Airy gets caught out by the W1, and I didn't see what else happened. I just saw the death.
Yeah, a good catch by Varia, and that's a tough spot for Airy to be in. It's 2-0 up, even though that last game was so close. The first game, not as close, but Airy's definitely clawing her way back here, and we'll have to see if Varia can maintain this offense, because so far it's looking good. 2 frost stacks as well, looking pretty good here for the combo potential of Varia, but gets caught while trying to invade, and now Airy with a bit of a lead. Airy needs to find an opening to start a combo, but Varia just relentless on the offense right now. Varia's going in over and over again, but gets caught by a kinetic wave, and maybe this is Airy's game to lose at this point. Has a bit of a lead, can press the offense with a full hand, but can't find an opening.
Yeah. One of the things I want to mention here is that sort of the spears. Once the spears are on the ground, it becomes like a target for Varia here, because a spears on the ground makes a target, really.
Yep.
Dodges the spear wave, and you know, suddenly Aries still in a pretty comfortable position, but I don't know if Aries can pull off anything.
Oh,
Never mind.
the shield
There's a
break
king
comes
wave.
in, and that's going to be fatal. Has enough cards in the hand as Aerie takes the game back. And yeah, like you were saying, Varia has been pretty good at sniping out those bright yellow flashing targets of the spears on the ground, catching Aries' movement with them. And it's definitely been a bit of a factor here, and looking good on this game as well. But Aerie, after the last game, definitely playing more confidently, stepping up into the front column yet again, but getting caught going for a spear yet again. Varia really on point.
I swear, it's commentator's curse. I say something, and then next second afterward, the opposite happens. I say Aerie is starting to lose a little bit of confidence, and then turns around and wins, and Aerie turns around and wins that game. This is insane.
Yeah, and the Spirit Wave comes out, a little bit more chip damage, a good kinetic wave to stuff out the approach of Varia. Has the Snow Cone in hand. One Frost Stack, doesn't get an additional Frost Stack on Aerie though. And Aerie sitting a little bit pretty here, but gets caught by the shears, and Varia building up a bit of a lead, a bit of a combo attempted. Both hits of Step Lance don't connect, but it's still a lot of damage. A big lead for Varia. 2 more openings needed to kill, and it's looking very close. Not quite getting the combo there though, and Aerie needs to find this Spear Wave to try and bring this game under control, but a great counter hit from Varia will make that not be so, and has plenty of tools here. The Step Lance could mean big damage, but goes in, doesn't land any of it. Aerie now, a little bit of lag, trying to get the pull, trying to get the kinetic wave, but none of it lands. The Spear Wave shuffled away. The raw Spear Wave won't be connecting on Varia. They've been on point with the defense so far. The shear comes in, 1 health remaining. The kinetic wave actually dodged away from predicted from Varia, and will finish off the game. 3-1 in the favor of Varia, showing that that they're the one on top in this matchup.
It wasn't an easy fight by any means, though. Aerie not letting Varia get any free hits in, I would say. Just, the Spear Waves is always a threat. The W1 is always a threat. It's, when Varia goes in, it's not without risk.
Yep, well played by both players. Varia just a little bit better on the day, and now we're heading into the other losers quarter. Gladiolus Dragon versus Sandwich Master. Both 2-word names and both equally as lettery. People say wordy, but they don't say lettery, right? Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, I mean, I think we get used to, I think they say, long words, or, I don't know. I'm not a linguist or whoever studies languages.
Well, Gladiolus Dragon and Sandwich Master should be arriving shortly here. And this is bound to be a good one. Gladiolus, of course, very explosive, very creative with the decks, but honestly, this might be pretty good for Sandwich Master, because their defensive playstyle might actually make the difference here.
Yeah, I do want to see how this sort of plays out. I don't have a lot to comment on this one. We'll just see how this goes.
Yep. Sandwich Master versus Gladiolus Dragon coming in, and I'm interested to see. I think a lot of this set will be determined in this very first game, because this is a huge clash of playstyles right now, and Gladiolus looked very good in terms of stuffing out the constant offense, but Sandwich Master isn't really a constant offense type of player, right? They're content to hang back and counter hit, but that's also true for Gladiolus. So Gladi's gonna need to find a way to deal with it, because I think Sandwich Master is just sitting pretty comfortably. But the inverter is actually a big player here. The backstab is also huge from Gladi as well, and they're the one in command of the lead here. The Step Lance, but the counter hits coming out, and a good rush from Sandwich Master as well.
Yeah, I think both players just have, control over themselves, if I may say so. Shield break coming out on Gladiolus takes advantage, does, I think, roughly 25 damage.
Yeah, gets a solid bit of damage there, and the slashes come through as well. 2 health remaining, but a self-vivisection interrupts the momentum, and Sandwich Master has won these before. 2 health remaining, 3 with a little bit of regen, but still in a precarious position, trying to get some health back to not be in lethal range. 2 health remaining still. Good shield away. Doesn't get caught by the triple barrel on the anchor cancel, but will finally get caught. Gladi will take the first game.
Shadow Shift, actually, going for the kill. That is interesting. Unai's travel 5 instead of, I thought they always traveled 4, but they travel 5. That little extra bit of reach shutting out Sandwich Master.
Yup, and Sandwich Master striking right back with a bit of a lead here. A solid combo and dodging away from the whirl. And yeah, it was also present in Gladi's last set, right? Piloting all these cards expertly, but couldn't really find the whirl opportunities. And I think if Gladi finds those whirls, this could be this game going from close to blown wide open in the favor of Gladi, because that whirl is such a strong tool that isn't really being utilized, isn't really being found. And even without it, Gladi took the first game, is taking these games, so it could be huge here. Gets a triple barrel, actually catches, and gets the whirl as well. The extra credit, 34 damage from Gladi, and even more with the weapon on the invade. And just like that, the game is firmly in the hands of Gladi.
Yeah, what you just said. What is it? If Gladi manages to find the whirl, this game's blown wide open. Right afterwards, Gladi does a 34. I want to say 34 damage combo, but that might be too high. Absolutely, this game is in favor of Gladi. Just trying to find a finisher, really.
Yeah, but that might be easier said than done. But you know, Caster's Curse might be a little strong. Gladi up 2-0.
I think Gladi has really found themselves in their element. Good parry from Sandwich Master on the inverter. Not much though. Gladi getting a first hits here, and we'll have to see how this round plays out.
Yep, and Gladi now with a commanding lead. 30 health in the advantage, and even more the extra credit really coming into play for Gladi, but it's not over for Sandwich Master just yet. Fighting back, trying to find an opening, trying to get the rush as well, but kind of not connecting a lot of these cards. Went for the rush into backstab, which doesn't exactly combo in any way, shape, or form, and I think Gladi has this one in the bag, has a fresh hand of cards ready. But, you know, Sandwich Master has made these comebacks before, has gotten victory from the jaws of defeat, made that crazy last hit comeback against 8th as well earlier, so you can't count the Sandwich Master out.
It'll be a hell of a fight. But hold on, Gladi up 40 HP. It'll be a tough fight. Very, very tough upwards battle here. Getting the shield, shielding away a lot of damage, but before I can even finish my sentence, Push Slash finishes the job. Gladi takes a 3-0, a commanding 3-0.
Well played.
Moves on.
Very, very well played. I had my doubts. You all heard my doubts before that set started, but it was dominant, and especially with that explosive whirl combo, I think just a great performance from Gladi. Moves on to a guaranteed top 4, could go even further.
I don't think this is it's fine. Probably fine. But yeah, I mean, what is it? Gladi actually finding that whirl being mixed into the combos, and then all of a sudden the game's blown wide open.
Yep. But next up is Hupskoa versus Varia. And this is... Wait, have these two fought? I feel like they have. I feel like I've seen them. Yes, Varia beat Hupskoa on the road to 2nd place at Sunday Shuffle number 6 in that loser semis. So this is a match that Hupskoa definitely wants to win, and of course is on the path to Hupskoa maybe reaching that top 4 position. But Varia's been looking kind of good and did win their last meeting, so they're definitely the favorites here.
Yeah, I want to. What is it? Hubscoa, though, I want to say that the Hubscoa's defense will win out, but I mean, what we're seeing is Varia just absolutely, I want to say dominance. It feels like dominance. Varia is very, very strong, finds those hits when they need to.
Yep, and now we'll see Hubsco versus Varia really come into play. They're readying up, and I'm interested to see how it goes because Varia has plenty of Spear Wave practice. We saw in the set against Airy, Varia is no stranger to Spear Wave. We'll dodge it every single time. And the chat has discovered the power of betting against yourself. Well,
And yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Personally, I would bet on Hubsco. I just want to see this sort of like defense into offense play work out. But that parry comes out. What is it? Varia actually managing to avoid a lot of the damage that otherwise it's 20 HP, but I think it would be a far cry from. Never mind.
That was the most brutal curse that I've ever heard. Because you were in the midst of saying it, and immediately the Spear Wave came in, the combo came in, and Varia is sitting at 40 health, and Hubscoa with an explosive start. But I don't think that will be like the picture of this set, right? Because Varia doesn't get hit by the Spear Wave that often, and that's definitely a less than usual occurrence.
Yeah, we're seeing here Varia is clawing their way back. Counter hits the push slash. It's a lot more even now. The difference is small enough that I can. Yeah, it's 3. The difference is 3 now. Varia very much holding their own. Hubscoa moving away from the the step lance, stuffing out the push slash, stepping out the W1 with a spear wave. Hubscoa still has a bit of a lead here, but can't, we'll see how Varia tries to push back.
Yeah, 10 health is not that much of a lead if Varia finds a good combo to step lance. Also a factor here, but it's all dodged away from Hubscoa, dodging the brunt of the damage, but it is still Varia relentless on the offense. Oh, but the parry means Varia still gets hit by 1 hit and a coverage sparkler from Hubscoa. Well played to take the first game.
Hubscoa taking that first game, sort of, I want to say methodically. It's a very, very methodical sort of play here. Just patience, cutting out options, until you can lock in that finisher. Parry is coming out from Hubscoa. And Vivisecting coming out. Neither player quite finding what they want. Was it Varia wants to see that step lance into world.
Oh!
Gets the world.
I mean, are you just the prophet or what? Because every time you say this needs to happen or this isn't gonna happen, every time you mention something, it just becomes so.
I got words of magic. I'm a magic man. We're seeing what is it? Oh, kinetic wave doesn't hit. Both players pretty even now, actually, and as soon as I say that, something's gonna change.
Yeah,
let's go with dodging away that shears.
I'm looking forward to that something changing, but good dodge away from Hubscoa, not to get caught by the sweet spot, not taking too much extra damage, but it is actually Varia getting in there with the step lance as well, and now it is Varia with a bit of a commanding lead, and Hubscoa forced on the defense, getting hit by so many slashes and in a lot of trouble right now. 20 health remaining and it's dwindling, but has a fresh hand, trying to find some damage back, but Varia's just playing really far back, doesn't need to be in danger at all, only takes a little bit of damage there, steps away from the flame breath as well, and doesn't get hit by the spear wave on the return. 6 health remaining on Hubscoa, a commanding game for Varia, needs one more opening to finish it off, has 2 frost stacks as well, but good counter hits from Hubscoa, trying to stay alive here, doesn't get hit by the frost proc as well, but a step lance into whirl. Varia evens up the set.
Yeah, the step lance into whirl, I think, is just it's easy, and a confirmed W1 step lance whirl. It's simple to hit, shields away the javelin, And Hubskoa just trying to find an opening to work with here.
Finds the opening, gets a little bit of damage, but it is still Varia relentless with the pressure. Finding those simple confirms over and over again to build a lead, but this time it is Hubskoa firing right back with the weapons. But 2 Frost Stacks is a dangerous place to be against a deck like this, against a player like this. Varia in a very good spot in both health and in terms of Frost Stacks on Hubskoa. One more for the hit stun, trying to get a bit of damage back, but actually a self-vivisection will mean a little bit more extra credit in the favor of Varia. And that, it's so tough to snow cone on deck, but with the Spear Wave connecting, it's still an opportunity for Hubskoa to bring this game to a conclusion, to try and get the lead in the set, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, what is it? Varia, I'm actually noticing, parries the, Hubskoa parries the Frost Prod, which is, it's a technique that I've used every now and then to just get rid of Frost Procs. It's great. I love it. Varia standing at the top and bottom to get away from Inverter, get away from Vivisection. The K-Wave coming out. I think Hubskoa just looking for that bit of damage to finish it off, but you know, with Varia coming through and getting a bit of the damage themselves, I don't know how this is going to end.
Oh, but that's the whirl. That's the weapon into the shear, and Varia smelled blood in the water, finished off the game, and is now at a 2-1 lead, looking to repeat history yet again. In position to do it, because last loser semis 2 Sunday shuffles ago, they met and Varia won 3-1. It might just be the same result here if Varia closes out this game and Hubskoa is trying to change the past, trying to change something, because this is a really tough spot to be in if you're Hubskoa as a defensive player. These games are grueling to play, and you have to be on point every single time.
I think Hubskoa burning through. Has to shield away some of the damage. Has to take some of that damage from the shears. Hubskoa is burning a lot of mana on those W1s. You're not getting a lot of damage return for all those spent W1s. That Varia is actually getting a parry on the Vivisection. Oh no! And Varia is getting a lot of that damage return, a lot of the damage from the deck that I think Hubskoa is spending on those W1s.
Yeah, and Hubskoa really trying to interrupt Varia's offense, kind of needs to stay alive, but in return, like you said, not having enough mana to find those big openings to cycle through the Spear Wave to try and find the damage. And of course, Varia actually gets hit by the Spear Wave there. I was about to say Varia not want to get hit by the Spear Wave too often, and now Hubskoa in a very tough spot. Frost proc, whirl, really on point from Varia, good catch, and now Hubskoa at 10 health, at critical health, and this is a tough spot to be because you know that Varia has enough damage in a good combo to get that 13 health in an instant. The shear comes out, a good dodge from Hubskoa, but still so scary, that whirl being saved in the back pocket, because that could be the difference maker to close out this game. The whirl is perfect, and Varia repeats history, 3-1 in loser semis. Oh, the scoreboard said losers quarters, but it's loser semis. My bad.
Oh, Hubskoa just can't find that sort of finisher. Weaving really, really well in those combos that, Varia goes for a Step Lance into instant Hailblade. I'm pretty sure Hubskoa is shielding part of it and then dodge stepping away, which is beautiful. Beautiful work, beautiful tech. But, I mean, again, we come to the problem. Defense is great, but if you can't get your sources of damage up and running, if you're spending a lot of your mana on that defense, as we've been seeing with Hubskoa W1, you're not getting the damage output that the other player is getting, and therefore you have to outplay them a lot more if you're playing more defense. And I think Hubskoa just couldn't get that to work.
Well, we're moving up to the winner's side. The winner's final versus Perp and Garden. And last Sunday Shuffle meeting, Perp did take it. So I'm interested to see how it goes, because Perp's experimenting a little bit with this Saffron, and I'm interested to see how it does, because these recent tournaments have been a bit of the Saffron gauntlet. There's been a lot of Saffron. Wait. I just spread misinformation. Last set, I called that loser semis, right? But it was losers quarters.
Last set was losers quarters.
Yeah, it was losers quarters and the scoreboard was right and I was right. But me after the game doubted myself. And so I was wrong. Isn't that crazy? I wove the wrong
daisies.
narrative, calling it the same round as their last meeting, but the scoreboard was right. And I'm the one who set the scoreboard
Press
to
the
be
scoreboard.
right. You know,
Press the scoreboard.
maybe I'm a noob.
I'm interested to see how this plays out. Garden versus Perp. Perp being very strong on, Perp is the person you look for when it comes to shopkeeper gameplay, and Garden is the person you look for when it comes to Celicy gameplay. Perp isn't gonna start with shopkeeper because Perp likes to be silly. But we'll see how this plays out.
Yep, and we're heading right into it. Winners final, Perp versus Garden with the Saffron. And it's interesting. It's interesting to think about what will happen here, but I have pretty solid confidence in Garden. I think Garden's locked in this tournament. No more fooling around. No more getting, what was it again at the last Sunday Shuffle? 5th place? No more getting 5th place. Garden's here to play, and he's already guaranteed top 3, but anything less than 2nd in this tournament's a disappointment, and he wants that number 1 spot.
Yeah, Garden's getting a good consistent damage. Very much Garden style. Just patience, getting a 7, 10 damage at a time. Less or more, it's alright. Oh, but Perp shows up, turns the heat up a little bit, minigun into Whirl.
Yeah, and that does so much damage, the Whirl especially. A bit of a controversial card nowadays, right? Whirl kind of feels very good, and its presence is also pretty high. Not as high as Backstab, though. Backstab's presence is ridiculous. It's a very good card, and is the cornerstone of a lot of powerful archetypes, so it does make sense, but this game is being kept incredibly close, as Perp is carefully spending a little bit of mana on poking with the Sparkler, trying to make sure Garden can't approach, can't find any big damage here. But that's an auto slash in hand, but all of it goes wide, and now Perp has command of the initiative, but not quite actually, as Garden goes in, a big combo, and actually finds a non-combo barrage, I almost called it barrage, minigun at the end.
What is it? It was 17 plus 8. If I can do math, that's 25.
Yep.
It wasn't a fully true combo, but it's still a hell of a lot of damage coming out from Garden.
14 health remaining, a shield break, and Garden has plenty of resources, gets the sweet spot, doesn't cut any corners. That's the first game in the favor of Garden, and that's an instant swap.
Yep. Just efficiency. Garden seeing the shield break, going in with the sweet spot of Crossfire. No need to make this any more complicated than it already is.
No more Saffron Gaming, only Shopkeeper. Just Shopkeeper here, and we'll see what Garden can do, because he's shown pretty solid success against her Shopkeeper in the past. So we'll have to see if Garden can really make the difference, but Perp knows how to play this matchup, right? Just placing the tax returns to not let Garden play for free, and playing with the Align Ragnarok, but they didn't have enough mana for the Ragnarok, so we'll settle for the Gravitas into the mine instead.
I mean, it is, I want to say, a game of patience for both players. Perviel has to be patient, set up the traps, not overextend, and Garden has to weave his way around the trap. Not get absolutely dunked on. That's a neat combo. Shields the fade away. That's a mistake. And what are we seeing?
Yeah, that's tough. Shielding the fadeaway, getting shield broken and into quite a bit of damage, and once again the kinetic wave into the minigun. It's looking tough for Garden now, as he needs to find a big opening, and quickly in a tough spot right now. The guillotine comes in, the execute comes in for Perp. It's 1-1.
That's difficult. That's difficult. I mean, what is it? Standing in front of Claw Trap, standing in front of Tax Return, there's not a lot you can do. And Garden just needs to... Garden has to wait, really. has to play around it and hope that it doesn't stuff out too much.
Oh, and this is a bit of a different deck from Garden. We're seeing a different flavor of the Celicy here. And we'll see if that makes a difference. The Paragon, a notable addition in this one. I believe the Stepland's also new to this deck compared to the last. I believe he did not put it in the last deck. No minigun here, so this will be interesting.
There's a bit of an issue, I think. I didn't get in the game.
I didn't get the. Oh, okay.
So hope.
Oh,
Oh,
they
okay.
canceled
There we
it, it's
go.
fine.
Okay. All right.
I thought we missed it for a second.
Yeah, I was a bit afraid.
I afraid. Okay,
I'm excited to see how this plays out, though. Garden playing a little. Yeah,
wait.
it is a little bit different. I think.
Wait. Okay. I thought we weren't getting into game properly, but we did. These
All
loading
right.
screens scare me when the numbers disappear.
Yeah. The tax return into mine is controls so much space. Garden trying to find an opening, not quite finding a clean one, I would say. And
Ooh, really good coverage from Herb actually. That's basically a checkmate position, right? It covers the dodge timing. So although Garden got it on the line, the bomb was still there to cover afterwards. So still getting damage is perp, and that's what you want here. Getting some damage with the bomb as well, but not controlling space, unfortunately. Still getting some chip damage in this game is being kept even, but if the game is even health-wise against perp Shopkeeper, you're in for a lot of trouble because it's going to be a long road ahead once those guillotines come flying in when you're at the cusp of 20 HP. And a raw triple barrel, triple barrel into the Ragnarok. That was ridiculous. Somehow Perp found the opening there, and Garden's gonna need to work overtime to bring this back because it's gonna be so tough. On the return, doesn't get the evade out, and Perp will win another game.
That's difficult. That's difficult. I mean, I don't know if Garden had enough time, well, not enough time, enough mana to get that dodge going, but what is it? Garden not quite finding the hits that he's looking for. Oh, this is a different deck. I don't know if this is different as the first one or not, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this one plays out.
We'll definitely have to see. This is a bit of a strange one, I gotta say. Oh no, this is just back to the first deck, isn't it?
Oh, it might be, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it might be
back to
the first deck, yeah.
But yeah, definitely, Garden definitely looked better, I think, on the first deck. Looked a lot more comfortable, but the raw Ragnarok while waiting for the mark to detonate. That's a lot of damage, but Garden is putting that damage back, making use of it. And with the minigun thrown out, Garden needs to find an opening quickly, but Perp's not getting caught. The guillotine, the Ragnarok afterwards as well. So much damage, and Garden's in trouble.
I mean, is this lethal? No. What is it? Triple barrel into. Okay, never mind. I need to stop talking. But Garden down to 19. Perpiel still sitting pretty on 53. Getting damage in though, and I would say this is pretty much even dodging the fadeaway.
Yeah, but still a tough spot, right? Because that guillotine's in kill range and the guillotine executes. Perp 3-1 moves on to winner side of Grands. It was looking close. It was looking like Garden had his footing, but it was snatched away in an instant.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Once you drop below 20, guillotine kills. If you drop below 35, what is it? Triple barrel into Ragnarok kills. It's just a mess.
All right, it's 3 predictions in, and I'm already done writing the full names of players. Gladi versus Varia. No more extra letters.
Efficiency. This is going to be interesting. I want to say that Gladi's sort of explosive Choretta deck versus Celicy.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting matchup. We'll have to see how it plays, but I think I'd have to favor Varia a little bit. Of course, I think both players can definitely take it, but I think from what we've seen of Varia, I think they are prepared for the type of deck that Gladi is running, for the type of playstyle. But no, Gladi's been proving me completely wrong while I try to say words to fill time, so it could be the exact opposite.
All you need to do is talk really well about Varia and Gladi will win. That's how this works. Okay, I wouldn't do that. I'm not throwing matches, I promise.
Well, you said it, so something will happen in
No,
this game.
something's gonna happen. I mean, yeah, there's definitely going to be a winner.
There definitely will be, and these games are taking concerningly long time to load. I'm a little scared here. This is the real loser semi. Don't trust that Saya guy at the end of the last losers match, where he thought it was loser semi then, despite knowing it was losers quarters prior, but it's whatever. As good evasion actually from Gladi prevents Varia from getting too much damage off that opening, but what really matters is that Varia is finding these openings so consistently, and it's tough. It's tough because Varia is so consistent on this offense. Not getting caught by the whirl though. Gladi's doing very well to minimize the damage once it happens, but the issue is Varia's getting too many things started.
What I find interesting is what is it? Varia cast Snow Cone twice, I think, so far. Parry off the Hailblade. Hold on. This is going to be interesting. What is it? Varia's cast Snow Cone twice, and Gladi has minimized the damage that Snow Cone could do. The Whirl comes in, and Gladi just has to find something. The, what is it? The hit from the self-vivisection definitely could have gone better. And Gladi just has to find something else in this next game 2.
Yep, does get the backstab into Whirl after that W2 though. That's good for Gladi, a good solid opening, but Varia's going in for damage right back and trying to find another opening before Gladi can find theirs, and Varia's relentless, but this inverter that's been doing so much work for Gladi in the past few sets has once again is doing a lot of work here. As once again the backstab into Whirl, the bread and butter, the 19 damage is so consistent, and this is Gladi's game. Really looking on point with both the defense and the offense, trying to find something here, but oh, you gotta watch out because I don't know, it's always so scary when you're against Varia. It always feels like that they can be the ones finding the opening, but with 22 health remaining, with a vivisection hit and 16 health remaining, I think Gladi has this one.
Can't say that too early. Come on, Saya. Now something's gonna happen.
You were so right. 28 damage into favor of Varia. 9 health remaining, but it is looking so winnable for Varia after that one. But goes in. Needs to shuffle soon. Needs to not waste this. Only gets one frost proc. And now is in a very tough spot, right? Needs to find this 31 damage to try and win this game. 28 finds the opening. Not quite. Finding the sweet spot. 2 health catch. Good catch from Gladi to even up the set.
Gladi just manages to pull that out after a roughly 30 damage combo from Varia, Caster's Curse style. Manages to put a hat on that round and go to round 3.
Yep, and bit of a stable early game here, interrupting Varia over and over, but interrupting into Varia on the third try. Third time's the charm, getting a big damage combo, finding the opening and going in once more. This is Varia's game, it feels like, but no, the last game was almost not Gladi, so maybe I shouldn't speak too soon as Gladi finds some damage back, dodges away from the big damage on the other side, and actually finds an opening with the step lance, gets the counter hit, almost gets the vivisection as well, and suddenly the game's looking almost completely even as Varia finds an opening, but not as big of an opening as they would have liked here. Gladi's once again doing very well to minimize and actually finding an opening of their own. 18 damage plus the W2 as well. Suddenly in a massive lead here. 10 health remaining on Varia. This inverter is going to come in huge, but the Whirl is so dangerous. The backstab in play as well. And what?
Oh, it's Step Lance.
Oh, Step Lance first hitbox.
Yeah. Step Lance, it's called push spin, technically. Fun fact, now you know. But Step Lance just managing to catch that final first hitbox for the kill here. Varia doing really well in this early fourth round, I think. Buddy. Oh no, not quite enough mana to get a true whirl, so Varia just shields it away.
That was such a mind game too, right? Because if that shield, if that whirl was delayed a little bit and Varia actually held the shield right, that could have been a shield break. That could have been really dangerous despite the combo not coming through. Of course, the combo would have been preferred, but like that was a really stressful situation. But forget my yapping because both players are comboing. Whoa, that Angel Cancel triple barrel into backstab into another hit of the triple barrel. That was ridiculous from Gladi and making this game a lot closer.
I mean, both players are not letting up here. Dodging the Northwind and making it that much harder for Varia to get any sort of combo going. The inverter comes out, doesn't hit anything. We'll have to see. And Varia is looking for the the step lands into a whirl, but not letting that happen. Never mind.
We are just weaponizing our curses back and forth. But Varia, what a clean combo with the sweet spot as well to close out that set.
Varia is just Varia pulls out. I'm pretty sure it was auto into whirl. And then step to finish it off with what is it? Crossfire. Just beautiful finish. Very, very clean. Gladi just falling out of a loser's bracket. This is loser semis though, so still a very, very good showing.
Yeah, fourth place is nothing to scoff at. I mean, I think top 4 is like it. People always talk about like top 3, but I think top 3 is fake. Top four is where it's at. You know, it's a nice number. It's half of top 8. I just like top 4. I don't know what it is.
Top 4 is a lot nicer than top 3 because there's like 3 spots on it. Top 4. It's top 4.
Well, now we just wait for Garden to get in here because this is going to be an interesting one. This is the clash of 2 Celices and the 2nd seed versus the 3rd seed in this losers final, as predicted with the 1st seed perp in the winner's side of Kranz awaiting the winner of this one. So if it goes as projected, this will be a Garden win, but Varia is no stranger to winning, and we might see it again.
That last game was curse abuse. You can't tell me otherwise.
It kind of was.
But, waiting for... Here we go. Garden versus Varia.
And Garden says, no way is that Varia the best Celice in the world.
We'll just see how this one plays out. I have a feeling that these decks are very similar. They might be the same, but I don't think they're the same.
Yeah.
We'll see how this one plays out.
Garden versus Varia, and there are definitely there are more differences than I thought actually. The Stepland Snow Cone is pretty big, but it's Stepland Snow Cone versus Javelin. That's the exact difference between these decks.
And minigun. There's minigun.
Oh right. Wait, then what else is different?
Yeah.
Something else.
No, I didn't pay attention long enough.
Well, we'll figure it out.
But I want to say, we'll figure it out when we get there. What is it? Varia, I think, playing a little bit more of an invade style deck, while Garden is glad to just javelin minigun his side of the field.
And what sets Garden apart is like what you said, it's having the cards to fire from his side of the field, but also he just knows his combos. He just does his combos with such precision over and over, and although Varia has those explosive combos, they're nowhere near as consistent as Garden has been and is being at the moment.
Yeah, it's really that sort of thing. Yeah, like that. Garden just knows his shit inside, knows his stuff inside and out. To step into the world really for Garden here.
One health remains for Varia. It's a minefield, and that will be the game for Garden. An explosive start, a decisive finish, and this is just the Garden pouting Celici so well here, and it's gonna be tough for Varia because mirrors are sometimes the most brutal matchups because there's it's just playing against your own character, and we'll see how well Garden is able to do it. And once again, a custom combo. This time it's not true though, and a good shield from Varia will get them out of there to minimize the damage, but still needs to find something to frost proc the combo, but doesn't actually get anything after the step lands. All of that whiffed.
I thought there would be more damage out of it, but what is it? Yeah, Varia not getting enough, not getting as much, I think, as could have happened. Step lance on board here, but not finding anything really. Varia gets a little bit of damage, but it's still pretty far in Garden's favor.
But with that little bit of a combo, Varia brings it back a little bit closer and actually steps forward to not get caught by the tail end of Garden's combo. Good parry, but the parry just means the whirl is there to do some damage. But will it even matter, because Varia needs to be very careful here. 13 health is not a lot. Garden has the capability to chase Varia, but Varia needs to find an opening themselves, but a great shear in reaction to the invade from Varia, letting Varia know that you're not safe, and Garden has a reaction time to deal with it. Tough spot, but the shear, once again, such a great tool for Garden.
Garden is thankful that those scissors exist, because it is just a brutal anti. It is working as a brutal anti-invade.
Wow, that was a crazy string from Garden, actually. Caught Varia with the North Wind and got so much damage off of it. Varia sitting at almost a shield break too. 2 health remaining on that shield at the very end of it, and now in a very tough spot here as Garden has so many cards to pressure as well. The shield doesn't land this time, a good dodge, but this time Varia on the return and getting a little bit of damage back. It's still looking pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, one person's close to shield break is another person's perfect shield. Shields away the mark, gets a step lance, but not quite in the right position to capitalize off of it. Garden hit step away, so it's not, not quite in front. And Varia not getting stuffed out of their invades.
Uh-oh, this is a dangerous situation for Varia. Got some damage back. Oh, actually, the anchor cancel on the minigun means it's not a kill, but Garden will finish it off anyway. 3-0. Well played by Garden, and a valiant effort by Varia, especially that second game was so close, but Garden shows why he's on top.
Yeah. And here we are. Garden versus Perp. I mean, Varia plays it really well, but when you're going up against Garden, you can't really afford to make any mistakes.
Well, it's time for the final prediction. Everyone better predict, or else we're never doing predictions again. But yeah, grand finals, Garden versus Perpiel. And
and this first round will be really interesting. Okay, maybe not, but come on, Garden, I want to see this. I want to see this happen, but Garden playing with it's the same first round for Perpiel and same first round for Garden. We'll see how this plays out.
yeah, this will be an interesting one to see here. The first game, I think it's doable for Garden, right? And but doable and done are two very different things.
Yep. Garden taking a little bit of damage, but looking for an opening, getting stuffed out by a Saffron W1. This is like, it is, and always a threat when you're playing against Saffron. It's that W1 that'll stuff your steps and just screw up your day.
Tough spot for Garden, being chased by a perp. The tracking is pretty solid, but again, a consistent combo from Garden brings the game close. He's just so consistent with the Celicy combos and knows exactly what to do with the hands. And now has brought the game all the way back to basically even, and Garden looking good, but Vivisection, I think. Garden's the #1 Vivisection fan, but he didn't even use it in his deck. What a fake fan.
Fake fan. In all seriousness, though, Garden's just looking for an opening here, and Parviel managing that mana. We're not seeing, the Hubskull amount of W1s coming out. Parviel is managing the mana, being patient with the W1s, not throwing them out to try and stuff a step. Just, it's a deterrent. Don't step here, or I will hit you.
Yeah, and the mark comes in, and good coverage from Garden right out of the tail end of that evade, and now Perp looking very low, but does have the tools to finish off this game on either side. We'll see if Garden finds the opening, steps right forward for the shear, and that is Garden taking the first game, but the second game is going to be a bigger challenge.
First game goes as, well, I wouldn't say as expected. Perpiel putting up a lot, I want to say, more fight than what we saw in winners finals. Is it called winners finals? It is called winners finals. But Garden still taking the win, and now we're seeing both players strong characters. They're what they're known for.
And now, yeah, like you said, this is where it gets tough, and of course Perp so good at walling off that front column, using the shear to clear away the bomb. You don't want that bomb there for the potential threat, but having to use the shear for that feels so tough, and on the return gets caught by the minigun of Perp, who is looking to be very, very on point at the moment. It's a tough situation as another claw trap sent out, and Perp has been barely touched in this first game, only 3 health shaved off. But just as I say that, the game's being brought back to even, but an even game isn't what you're looking for if you're fighting Perp. You need to be in the lead, or it's such a tough situation to be in, because Perp has that explosive ability to close out the game when you're at like 30 something, and definitely when you're at 20 something.
Yep, I mean 30 damage right there, but Garden not letting up. It's 10. Yeah, hey, not 10, but Garden still has a little bit of lead. I wouldn't say lead, but health advantage. And Perpiel trying not to get hit, because if Garden gets a Garden combo, that's game. Oh no! Oh no!
That's a lot of damage. And suddenly it's so dangerous. The guillotine in play, the fadeaway in play, but none of that matters if Garden's the one who finds the opening first, up 2-0 in the first set of grands.
And I mean, what is it? Garden's looking for this bracket reset. I know he's fighting for it. Knocked out of winners finals by Perp. Oh no! That's like 35 damage, I think? Yeah, 35. It would be 35 damage because of guillotine, aligned guillotine, Ragnarok. Both players just weaving through each other. Perpiel trying to get those setups going. And I want to say this is where some of Hubskull's nerves would be helpful here, because Garden dodges the align but steps directly back into the minigun.
Yeah, just a really good play by Perp, right? To cover that angle, and knowing that Garden might step into there. But actually, Garden with a good opening as well. 23 health remaining. We've seen Garden kill at this health before, and might do it again here. Goes in with a shear, but doesn't quite have the sweet spot ready to close out the game. 8 health remains though. This is very doable for Garden. Detonating the bombs too, actually defusing them somehow. Almost got killed there, but 33 health still remaining to try and reset the bracket with. Definitely very doable here as Garden goes in and actually catches with the shears somehow.
Brutal catch. Hold on. This is... Wait a minute. Garden taking a 3-0.
All right, and we're into the second set of Grands. 3 plays being played for the first set right now. As this is interesting because also for those predicting, this prediction is for who wins the entire tournament. This isn't for just first set because I'll be real, people aren't gonna re-predict for reset. There's not enough time. But yeah, just well played by Garden, and it looks like Perp is probably going to start with Shopkeeper this time. Does have the ability to. And we'll see how it goes this time because this is a very different set.
Purple starting with her best foot forward this time. Instead of like playing with Saffron and then after losing that going to Shopkeeper, we're going to see Purple start with Shopkeeper in this bracket reset. Garden sticking to the tried and true method.
Wait a second. This isn't the Perp deck I know.
Wait, yeah, you're right. This is different. This is...
Something's not right here. Well, it is still... most of the components are still the same, but there's definitely a few notable differences. We'll have to see if that will make the difference here against Garden, but Garden's going in for 22 damage in an instant, and that's pretty big here. Actually breaking the tiles instantly, and I'm interested to see what Perp's cooking. I'm not sure. Ooh. K-Wave into Guillotine Gravitas.
One of the things I'm interested in... Shield break! Hold on, how is trying to go for those instant hail blades to rack up damage, because when you don't have any cards, that's as much as you can do. Dodges the line, that's pretty beautiful. What I'm interested in seeing is Purple use of Cataclysm. That's what I want to see here, because there's no way this fits well with any sort of deck, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, how is Perp gonna make this work? I am not convinced yet, but we'll have to see, like you said. And right now the game is being kept pretty even, but the slashes come out. Garden gets the combo to swing the game in his favor, and Perp's gonna need to find an explosive opening. That's exactly the explosive opening. Almost gets the guillotine, but not quite. And the shears come in, and Garden capitalizes on the mark, hit stun instantly, goes up 1 game in Grand Finals reset.
Garden is brutal, taking the first game, and I don't know if that's a deck change. That might be a deck change, because otherwise, why would you go back?
Yeah,
and
we're going back to
yes, it is. Purple goes back to the old deck.
And yeah, this is the third phase of the boss fight, right? This is Perp in her natural habitat, and Garden's gonna have to overcome here. It's gonna be tough, but definitely doable with how Garden's been playing so far. The combos have been consistent. The bomb defusal has been good, and what an opening to find after the shear. Incredibly well played from Garden.
Forward. I mean, this is pretty powerful. Garden is still no damage taken, which is sort of a mirror, not a mirror. Yeah, it's pretty difficult when there's tax returns on the fields and the lines and all these. Okay, that's changed now, but having that flawless is pretty powerful. Garden looking for an opening here. That step into shears. Purple manages to get away, but and hitting that a line fade away. But we'll see what happens next.
Oh, another line. Well, Gravitas fade away, and that's exactly the type of damage that Perp needs to try and chip Garden down, but Garden's getting the openings. Garden's getting the conversions, but wait a second, that's a kinetic wave. That's a gravitas into guillotine. Really well played from Perp there, and this mine is looking very, very scary, but triple barrel won't be connecting. And this game is even, but that's dangerous. This is a tough spot to be if you're Garden, because 2 openings is all that Perp needs here, but that doesn't connect. The bomb toss. The bomb dragged sideways, but it's not quite enough.
Garden dodging away from the bomb. Well, he was already out of range, but just to make sure. And one thing I'm finding really interesting is how Garden is playing around those traps. Oh no, caught by the Align Ragnarok. And even is losing in this matchup if you're Garden. If you're even, you're losing.
Yep, both players stopping, and this is a really tense spot. Oh, but Garden tries to find an opening, does find a bit of an opening, but not exactly what they wanted. A good hit step away from the kinetic wave to not die to the Ragnarok, to not die here, but the triple barrel catch the Ragnarok to finish it off. And what a checkmate from Perp with the bomb right above Garden.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Like, if you shield, you can't go up because the bomb's in the way. So either you shield break or you take that damage, which is deadly. They're getting a clean hit from, what is it? I think Northwind? I don't remember the exact sequence. But Garden here just looking for those small hits, trying to evade getting caught.
Oh, tough spot, a shield break.
Oh.
That's a triple barrel. That is a Ragnarok as well. 62 damage off the shield break from Perp. That was a perfect amount of mana too, right? Like a few milliseconds different, and Perp wouldn't have been able to cast the Ragnarok.
Yeah, Garden, you can't shield break like that. You can't shield a guillotine. That's not going to end well, especially because shield breaks regenerate mana. Perfect dodge this time away from the guillotine, but 10 against 63, I don't think Garden will have to pull a miracle and then some to get a win out of this.
Well, no miracles here, as it looks like my mouse has died. So good thing my stream is set up properly, so I don't have to worry about like what's on screen. But the score won't be updating for just a second, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of yapping.
Garden trying to find an opening here. No! Getting caught by the K-Wave into a Gravitas. And then that into Guillotine. Defuse. Disarming the mine. But Perp has a K-Wave, and it would go into Ragnarok, but doesn't get that. All these dangerous things. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is a really tough spot for Garden. Perp is on Perp is on tournament point right now, and Garden sitting at 24 health, and that is basically fatal against a player like Perp. So many ways to get the damage here. Gets the guillotine.
Oh, no.
Needs one more hit to close out this game. The bombs are set up. Such a scary spot to be in, because even if you dodge, the bombs are going to come in with the detonation, but Garden smartly steps away from it. Doesn't get caught by the fadeaway, but it's still a minefield in more ways than one. Needs to be very careful here. Triple barrel, the interrupt, the shear as well. Garden trying desperately, but it's not enough.
No.
Perp finds one opening with a tax return.
So close, and yet so far. Garden this close to victory, and then it's a Perpial deck. You make one misstep, and all of a sudden you slip off that slope, and Perpial takes that win.
Very, very well played from Perp, and well fought from Garden to get the reset, and it was definitely close, but Perp will be the one to be the second two-time winner of Sunday Shuffle.
Congratulations to Perpial, congratulations to Garden for making it this far, even fighting through to make a bracket reset. I mean, was that a 3-0, I think, in the grand finals? That's an achievement.
Yeah, 3-0 into not being able to close it out, but still very, very well played. And well, that's about it, right?
Yep. Couple last words here. Thank you to everybody for showing up. Show up to tournaments. Make it fun. Let me talk about it. It's great. Awesome show. Awesome showing from everybody we saw, and awesome showing from everybody that we didn't get to see today. Keep fighting.
Well, we're gonna raid. We're going to Brazil. Goodbye, everyone.
Huh? We're going to Brazil. Oh no.
You're going to Brazil.
No.